Hey, welcome to So What's Even Happening, the podcast where creative entrepreneurship meets real life self-care.
I'm Courtney, an artist and entrepreneur from LA.
And I'm Ziamara, a business owner and consultant from Oakland.
We're two Black women navigating the ups and downs of business building, fostering personal growth, and holding each other accountable.
Each week, we're sharing inspiring stories, facts, and some good laughs as we talk about creativity, self-care, and making it all work.
So grab your favorite drink, get comfy, and let's figure out what's even happening together.
Hi.
Hi.
Hey.
Hi, BB.
Hi, BB. Oh, man. Hey, everyone.
Hey,
Welcome back
Hey, guys.
to our podcast.
Forgot where we were for a second.
I know, in my living room.
Yeah. The set. Yeah. Our amazing, wonderful set and our crew. We love all you guys. Thank you. We're just clapping to Diesel.
We're clapping to Diesel, my dog,
Right.
and our tripods.
Our self-made camera setup, which, you know,
and ring lights.
I'm proud of us. Like,
this is like back to when we were only children playing in our rooms with our dolls by ourselves.
Yes. Making your own fort, like
Yes.
figuring it out, just having a ball, keeping yourself occupied. Just, we have that figured out ourselves spirit.
We're fine.
Yeah, we are.
We got it.
We are.
So today, in our episode, we are talking about something that affects everyone, not just creative entrepreneurs, but every single person that you know. And it's this thing called anxiety. You might have heard of it. You might, maybe. I have.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And so we are going to tackle this because this is something that we have definitely helped each other in our accountability journey as partners.
Yep.
And it's something that's really, really important. So on a personal check-in, like what's the first story, not just like the most important, well, whatever, the first and most important story that when you think about anxiety and how, like a personal story that you can share with us?
I think for me, what comes to mind at this moment is doing art fairs. So for an artist, a lot of, sometimes your job requires you to get out in front of people, kind of sell your art and yourself and talk to people, meet people, and just, speak to them about your art. And so when I ended up going full-time as an artist, I started doing that more. So I had to get comfortable, not going up to people, but just like having those interactions where you're trying to sell yourself essentially. And just being an artist and just the shy, just introverted person that I am, it doesn't come naturally. And I'll get through it, but deep down I'm just like, oh my God, this is so scary. Like, I don't know what to do, what I'm gonna say. Am I gonna sound stupid? Like, all the things. So I think doing one of like those, those big art fairs that I usually do for the first time. I remember doing it for the first time when I just was like, didn't know what to expect.
Yeah.
It's just, I think it's the uncertainty. It's putting yourself in uncomfortable situations and out of your comfort zone. So yeah, it's just that, I think just doing something totally new out of your comfort zone. For me, that was a huge learning curve.
For me, the first thing that I think about when I think about anxiety is like when I was in high school. And I went to an all-girls private Catholic high school, college prep, and it was super, super competitive. And we're talking about like competitive about grades, about sports, social, all the things. And especially in all girls school, we're talking about like, boys and that kind of stuff. So I would be up late at night, just not able to sleep because I'm thinking about like my test. I'm thinking about like I was on the volleyball team and then we played competitive. So that was after volleyball, and then being like the vice president of the volunteer group or committee or whatever at school, being a part of yearbook, like just being this super well-rounded like student. And worried about my grades and where I'm going to college. Like I would think about the future so much during those hours, like late hours, and all of that. So that was my first like experience with anxiety and even just thinking about what other people thought of me.
Question, do you think you knew it was anxiety at the time?
No.
Yeah.
No, I didn't think
I wonder what we thought it was. Is like maybe we thought it was just normal to be feeling this way, overthinking, worrying about everything.
Yeah.
Being perfect.
Yeah, especially like in that kind of like environment of like being in this all girls like school and just very competitive environment.
Yeah.
Even though I loved high school, like I loved like going to be with like my best friends like all the time and like having that kind of like camaraderie and not having boys at school was actually kind of
That's
great.
interesting. Yeah.
No makeup.
Yeah.
We would have like contests about who didn't shave for the longest.
That's amazing.
We compare leg hair.
Wow.
Like it was kind of gross.
Those are the days though. It was just pure. Like everything was just so pure.
Very pure. Just like very innocent, not so innocent.
Right.
Because we're in high school.
Right.
So we.
Right. Right.
Some girls were on the weekends.
Right. I mean.
Yeah. You know. Anyway, those are my kind of like first like instance about like anxiety, and it's something that I still struggle with today in terms of sleep.
Yeah.
I could fall asleep. I could fall asleep like that, but I cannot like stay asleep. I'll be up at 2, 3.
Yeah.
Toss turn. Where the fuck am I?
Yeah.
What's going on? Did I remember to do something? And then turn on a guided meditation to like go back to sleep.
Yeah.
That's not all the time, especially when I have an edible, but
that's to help.
Listen, Wild gummies, Wild the
not a sponsored ad yet.
It's not sponsored, but hey,
could be.
Let's talk about it. WYLD, the Marion berry flavor.
Yeah.
You have a good night's sleep.
Out.
Might be a little groggy in the morning, but it's a sleep that
balance
counts.
it with coffee, you'd be all right.
Right.
When you were talking about first experiences, I was thinking about like more recent experiences, but in terms of first experiences, what clicked for me was my piano recitals. So I took piano when I was little, and you know, every year there's like a culminating recital and everything, and you have to perform. It's the scariest. You get dressed up and just it's dead silent, and you're just up there playing. It's the craziest, most out of body experience. I feel like I still remember those feelings to this day. I feel like for me, that was probably one of my first experiences with anxiety, and a lot of it was just being nervous, but just also just the drive to the recital, like just being scared and nervous and like, oh my gosh, am I gonna mess up? And just
fucking dread.
Just trying to get through it. Yes. It was just so dreadful. And I think for me, that's my almost fear of just attention and just like being put on a stage and just everyone looking at you, watching you, just that feeling. Yeah. So for me, that clicked hard.
Yeah, you just unlocked a whole new memory.
Right.
Love just
all
of that. I remember just being in this velvet dress.
Right.
Like playing
a big bow, yeah.
Yes, bow on the back.
Stockings.
Stockings.
Right, with the ballet flats.
The ballet flats had to be glitter.
Right. Or pink, yeah.
Whatever it was. And
oh my God,
I remember
hilarious.
playing My Heart Will Go On, like Titanic.
Oh my gosh.
But I wasn't the only one. Like, it was a very basic bitch song.
Yeah.
Like, I think like 3 other girls
did
the
funny.
same thing.
Wow.
But that's
that is
what I wanted
crazy.
to do.
Yeah.
Anyway. So here we are talking about anxiety and how, as creative entrepreneurs, like how we battle this, right? Yeah. And in this specific episode, talking about how, in terms of activity, because the anxiety and how it blocks us from actually getting to do what we want to do and to take that first motherfucking step forward.
It's
like
through.
So what and basically what kills anxiety is activity.
Yeah.
And it's once you take that first motion like towards going to, you just start to feel better about where you're going and what you're doing. Like, okay, I made this, I did this. And that is what like keeps you moving forward, but also just it silences the thoughts in your mind about you sucking and doing a bad job and not being able to accomplish what you want to accomplish. And That was always my experience, especially if I just feel, it just made me feel better.
Yeah.
And just like more at ease.
Well, it also kind of calls you out for like, dang, that's all I had to do, which is take one little step and I would be able to not feel this way anymore. And every time you do it, you realize like, oh, that's all it took.
Silly.
It's
like
crazy.
You feel so silly.
You do.
Like you had all this procrastination and anticipation, all the Asians.
What was I worrying about?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And in your mind, and it was the smallest fucking thing.
Yeah. The tiniest motion. That's still forward. Like that's
still forward.
It's crazy how much it works.
Yeah.
Even at the smallest goals, like the biggest goals, like or biggest things happening, like it doesn't matter. Just one tick.
Yeah.
That's literally all it takes to just get started.
And it's just that sending that one email.
One.
And getting a quick
one.
And
That's
the one
nothing.
email that we feared that we wouldn't get a response from, or was the scariest thing to write in our life.
Yep.
And we got an automatic yes.
Yeah. Yep.
Or the next day.
Yeah.
And maybe we don't even hear back. We send we send a follow up.
Yeah.
Hey, so sorry.
Right.
Would love to be a part of this and da 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 da.
Yeah.
Like, let's have a conversation. Let's hop on a call.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
Right.
It's done. Perfect, And so the thing about like what even gets us into this place in the first place is like the thoughts in our mind that really like inhibit us from doing anything.
Yeah.
And the to-do list just stacks up higher and higher and higher, and we're like, shit, now what am I going to do? Now it really feels like an insurmountable mountain of tasks to get to where you want to be.
Well, and the crazy thing is like that's a form of mind control, but it's like we also have control over our bodies to take action and to then gain control of our minds to keep going. And it's just you realize how much control you really do have to not feel terrible because you're anxious and just sitting in it.
Yeah. And everyone deals with this.
Everyone.
This is non-discriminatory.
Yeah, we're dealing with it today, this morning.
Now.
Like just all the things. Like it's one of those things that's going to be present, and it's you have to realize like, okay, it's here. So how do we pivot from this? How do we use it and move forward? How do we use it and shift? It's not trying to push it away and act like it doesn't exist. It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
But let's do something about it.
Okay, we're back. And we are going to talk about, we already talked about anxiety and how we first experienced it in our lives and how it affects us in our creative journeys. Now we're going to talk about how we actually deal with it when it creeps back up again, because that junk wants to keep coming back, and it's very relentless.
No, it is. It's just as relentless as we are in a sense. Like the yin and yang of it. Like it's there.
Yeah, it just finds an open opportunity.
It really does.
When you're at a low point.
Right. That part.
Oh, she's stressed out. Let me get back in again.
Perfect timing.
And for me, in terms of anxiety, like after going to therapy, lots of it, I have learned to have a routine in the morning that really... Sorry, my dog is dreaming and he is about to start running out of his sleep.
Speaking of anxiety, right?
Right.
I hope it's not an anxious dream.
I hope he's chasing a squirrel or something, or at least digging. Something. Anyway, I have these morning routines that really help me set the day and set the tone and silence the thoughts that are happening in this big old head. First is to meditate. Like, this is something that I have been incorporating in my life for over a decade by now. And I'm not the best meditator, I'll say that. And that's why I listen to guided meditations. And they really put me into a state of calmness and just being present and silent and focus on my breath work. and really setting an intention for the day. And that has been really like awesome for me to really like just start off the day and to really be in tune with myself. Secondly is with journaling. And specifically in the morning, it's about gratitude. I have a gratitude journal, and one side I write, I'm so grateful for like these things that I currently have. And the other side I write what is something that I'm manifesting for. So I'm so grateful now that. So like now that I started a podcast with Courtney or whatever it may be. And after that, I have to work out. I have to move my body in some sorts of like way, whether if it's walking my big dog. Damn, I said the W word. He's asleep.
He's okay, yeah.
You know how if you're a dog owner,
Triggered.
you can't say WALK because you know it's going to be on and popping, or TREAT.
Right. You're right.
I have to move my body in some way. Like really got to get those endorphins going, and it's a good workout or a long walk, get some fresh air. Like that is what is a good way to kill anxiety or keep it at bay. Because anxiety is kind of like depression. Like it's always there. Like it's like a little friend that's like in the corner.
Yep.
You know, it depends on how much space you give it.
Absolutely. That's the key. And I think just acknowledging that it's there is big for me, because I think that's one of those things that you learn in personal development. It's like you have to navigate through it. You have to kind of acknowledge it, not attack it, but just, really just determine what it is and then work through it. For me, yeah, moving my body is a big thing, especially like first thing in the morning. I think just physically doing something helps me want to set things in motion. There's just something about being physical that does that. And I'll also say that I think that, so just being an artist, I won't say being an artist, maybe just painting can be seen as something very therapeutic. So the fact that I get to do this is my life, this is my career, that I get to paint, I feel lucky that I have painting as an outlet to help kill anxiety for me. I have to say that, because I can't, it's like why I do it. It's what keeps me sane. But I think that the anxiety comes from creative block, just not having the bandwidth to paint sometimes. Like artists I know can relate that you don't always feel like picking up a paintbrush, and that happens. But for me, and I feel like that gives me anxiety, just the guilt of just not working towards your craft every single day can cause anxiety. So for me, it's leaning into other forms of creativity, like cooking, fashion even, just all sorts of different things. I think that just finding an outlet, a pivot, is really how I use anxiety to my advantage. Yeah.
The collective sigh.
I know.
Man, it's such a anxiety can be such a killer.
Yeah.
And in so many like different ways.
Like ways you don't even realize. You can just eventually, you're like, oh, this is anxiety. Like, oh, that's why it doesn't feel so good.
Right.
Like why am I still putting up with this or doing this way?
Kills your confidence, kills your vibe, your perspective of life, your motivation, drive, whatever. It's so many, it affects everybody.
It really does. And pretending that it's not, that it can, I don't think it's, I guess what I'm trying to say is I don't think it's something that's like, can be cured. It's like forever present.
It's just something we have to manage.
Yeah.
It's just something that is, we have it.
Yeah.
Or like.
Yeah.
It sounds like a STI.
No, I know it does. We're all born with it, yeah.
Right. Who caught it?
Right.
It's like some medicine for you.
Right. Oh my God, that's ridiculous. Oh my God.
Anyway, it develops or whatever it is.
Yeah.
and it's just there. But
Yeah.
like, it's just something you have to manage in terms of just like your stress levels.
Yeah.
Like, it's just It's,
Knowing when to rest, knowing when to just say, sit down. Like, you need to sit down. Like, take a break.
Yeah.
Because that'll do it too. Running yourself into the ground will just perpetuate it. Like, you know, so that's a big one for me.
But also, therapy.
Good old therapy. Good old professionals. Like, you know.
In person.
Yeah.
Over the phone.
Yeah.
Zoom.
Yeah.
It's been one of the best ways for me to just learn.
Yeah. And learn about yourself. Like, it's everything. And every day that goes by, I realize that everything is such a personal, unique journey. And we're learning something every single day because we're changing constantly.
Right.
Every day.
Yeah.
Like, today changed us in a way.
Right.
You know, tomorrow's going to change us a little bit more in a different way.
Yeah.
And I think for me, just kind of acknowledging that also helps with anxiety. Just knowing that, like, things aren't permanent.
Right.
This isn't forever. This isn't always going to feel like this. I can change. I have control.
Yeah. And back to like our original like theme of this episode is talking about activity.
Yeah, exactly.
And like you taking those steps, whether they're big leaps or small leaps, like every single step is like literally squishing an anxiety bug.
Right. Yeah.
Like, let's think of it as
I
a
love
bug.
that.
Squish that anxiety bug.
Yeah.
You know, I don't really like killing bugs. I know you.
I mean,
you like killing bugs. I did kill a fly, but it's a fly. It's a fly.
See?
Who cares about the flies?
Exactly.
I won't kill a bee.
I won't kill a
butterfly, or a ladybug.
bee. This is too many flying, but I don't even like ladybugs, you guys.
I know.
I got bit by one once.
You cannot get bit by a ladybug.
Well, I did.
No,
And
you
it happened.
didn't.
Yes, I did.
There was something else.
Yes,
like a mosquito must have bit you before you got bit by. You thought you got bit by.
I
a
saw the
ladybug.
ladybug. It landed on my hand. It bit me, and then it flew away.
No.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did.
I'm gonna call your mom.
It was crazy.
What's your mom's name?
It was,
Barbara.
Yeah.
Barbara.
It happened. It happened.
How old were you?
I want to say I remember being at day camp in the summertime. I was probably, I don't know, like 11, 10, between 8 and 11. I was young.
I don't know, hon.
I'm saying.
I just don't. I'm just not sure if I believe you.
Well, maybe this is like a chosen one activity. You know, maybe this is just something like, you know, the only person in the world that was ever bit by a ladybug.
Let's talk about dramatic.
Everyone who's been stung by a ladybug, we're forming an alliance because it's happened. I'm just saying, hit me up.
So we're talking about anxiety.
That's why I stay away from bugs. Stay away from bugs. That's how you kill anxiety. Activity, because you're running away from bugs.
No. The activity. The activity is what keeps the anxiety at bay.
Oh, you're right. Right, exactly.
The anxiety, let's say this, it works as like the exterminator, spraying your house, the perimeter to keep the bugs away. I say this because I recently had to do this for my house. Because the summer brought all the fucking bugs.
It was crazy. It was actually really crazy, yeah. And I feel like they lingered a little bit longer.
Yeah, it was ants.
Yeah.
I was just like, why?
Yeah.
And there was, I mean, I understand because it was hot, so all the bugs were trying to like find refuge in my house. So I had to get the home defense spray, do my homeowner due diligence of taking care of my house.
Yeah. You can't let these bugs take over.
It acts as that to keep it at bay. But here's the thing. You have to keep respraying it every 3 months when it's outside.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it wears away.
Yeah.
Just like if you were to stop the activity of taking care of yourself You see how I brought that back in?
I'm loving it.
You see how I brought that back in?
I'm loving it.
You got to keep doing the morning routine. You got to keep doing the workouts or the therapy, the whatever it is, and the activity towards your goal so you could keep that anxiety at bay.
Yep.
Because the more you don't do it, the more you don't work towards what you want. And it doesn't have to be hard work, guys. We're not some grinded out gals.
Right.
Yeah, to an extent, but we're not about that like hustle and grind lifestyle anymore.
Yeah.
We like rest.
It's balance.
We like self-care.
It's about balance.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Balance.
That's all that it is.
You gotta take care of yourself.
You really do.
So, I say this to say, take care of yourself. Take those steps forward.
Yeah.
And appreciate that. And appreciate your journey.
Yeah. And it's temporary. A lot of stuff is temporary. Like not latching on to things because you know that you're going to get through it. And almost having that assumption. I will say one last thing, a big thing for me is repeating affirmations and mantras like in my head and in the mirror. And also just being mindful in those moments. Like when I'm feeling most present and mindful is acknowledging where I am and thanking that space for giving me what it's giving me in that moment. Yeah. That's a huge thing for me. Yeah. Just really being present and just honoring that moment, this moment, like here, like everything about this moment. It's like I have to acknowledge that because it's amazing. This is fun. This is like we get to do this. We get to share. Like so.
That's all.
That's all.
That's our little take about anxiety in terms of how activity kills anxiety, or at least keeps it at bay. We're not licensed therapists. No. We are just speakers of our own truths.
Yes. Yeah.
And we'd love to hear from you guys about what are some ways that you guys battle and
ready to receive it all. Yeah.
Anxiety.
Totally.
You know,
Cheers.
We're not experts.
Yeah. We want to know the tips too. Let's talk about it.
Maybe there's something we don't know.
Yeah.
Please let us know. What did we not find on TikTok?
Yeah, right. Totally.
Stay tuned for more as we continue on our journey this season. Yeah. Of more self-care, personal development, creative entrepreneurship.
All the things. How we're just getting through it all. Bye, guys.
And cut.
Thanks for tuning in to So What's Even Happening. We hope you got a little inspiration and maybe a laugh or two.
If you love this episode, don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe. It really helps us grow. You can find us on YouTube and all your favorite podcast platforms.
And follow us on Instagram, Threads, and TikTok at So What's Even Happening for more behind-the-scenes fun, tips, and updates.
Until next time, take care of yourself and keep making moves toward your dreams.
And remember, we're rooting for you, always.